Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Palma Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I am joined today with a gentleman by the name of Colin, and he is here in regards to the Investing Awareness Seminar that is being held in Palma de Mallorca Thursday, February 13th at 1800 hours. How are you, Colin?
Yeah, very good, Ray. How are you?
Good, good. We are actually, this meeting is something that is fairly close to you. First of all, you're a Canadian in yachting, and you know, I'm a fellow Canadian, so I got to say, hey, how did you get into yachting?
Well, the true story is someone told me to buy a flight to Antigua from British Columbia, and I said, "Oh, Antigua! I think I heard that in a Jimmy Buffett song."
Yep.
And so I bought myself a ticket and went down there and saw some beautiful boats that I could go and sail on, and met a lot of good people, a lot of good friends, and it's been a good decade since then.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, I find it funny in the yachting community. You know, we don't run across very many Canadians, so it's really cool to meet a fellow Canadian, and especially a fellow. Well, I mean, you're from Alberta originally, not British Columbia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, back to the matter at hand. Investment awareness. Now, you have a friend that has been affected fairly significantly in this sort of. I guess you can't say it's a scam, but it is. It's something that isn't 100% open book, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. So this person was approached while they were on board the boat that they were working on, um, by a salesman posing as a financial advisor.
And this was in
Um,
Palma, Mallorca.
yes, it was in one of the
Okay.
shipyards. Yeah. And the person ended up signing up three of the crew members at that time, and this was 8 years ago. Um, so how it happens is, in yachting, as we all know, we don't have retirement plans that we pay into and that our employer pays into. And so everybody does have these moments where they think, okay, what am I going to do in the future for financial stability? So we're a pretty vulnerable market, as far as that's concerned, because these advisors can come and say, okay, this is what we do. We offer a great plan. Put your money away for 10 years, 25 years, and then when you get out, you'll have a whole load of money, and it sounds really good at face value. And I'm sure there are some investment plans that do work like that. To invest anything, efficiently, the company investing it needs to have some guarantee that people aren't going to pull their money out willy-nilly. So if you do commit to a certain time frame, they're able to, invest your money better and make it grow for you. But
Yeah.
that's the point that this investment plan misses, is that really all of the growth that happens during these plans ends up going to the company, for their profits, and to a large commission to the person that sold it to the people to begin with. And that's why hearing so many stories about it, people getting signed up 8 years ago, and then to other friends that I've known in yachting getting signed up as recently as 2 years ago, I just wanted to put it out there. Like, is anybody doing anything about this? Has anything been done? Is there anything we can do? It just seems to me, even though it may be legal what these companies are doing, it just seems immoral, because if a person really truly knew all the fees that were going to be coming out of their growing money, they would never sign on the dotted line.
Well, I mean, something that you said to me that I found very interesting was that at the end of this 25 years, they will get out exactly what they put into it, which means that they've literally just been saving money. They haven't lost anything, but they haven't made anything either. So that isn't an investment. That's not even the definition of an investment.
Yeah, exactly. So the salesman won't say that when they're trying to sign you up. They'll point at these figures that will show your money doubled and tripled, at the 25 years. they may explain, oh, well, you have to keep it in for, to get to there. But, you know, I heard from one of these so-called advisors not too long ago, as I was asking about the surrender value is what they call it. You know, you have the total premiums paid that are going up and up and up over all the years, and the surrender value is always staying below that because they want you to keep your money in with them. And I said, okay, well, where do these two lines meet? Where does the surrender value meet the total premiums paid? And they told me that that usually happens at the end of the term of the investment. So if you've done a 10-year investment, it happens at 10 years. If you've done a 25-year, it happens at 25 years. So when I heard that, I I thought, well, what's the difference between doing this or just putting your money in a savings account or under your pillow?
Well, because I mean, investment, the true definition of investment is it means that you put your money into something expecting to receive more than what you put in. So by definition, this isn't an investment at all.
And this is exactly why I think something needs to be done about it. At the least, just spreading awareness so more people in the yachting community don't get done in by these salespeople. Nobody's going to sign up for this if they truly know what it means. And unfortunately, well, fortunately, in the yachting community, where, we trust that the captain's going to keep us off the rocks, the engineer's going to keep the water tanks full and the batteries charged, the chef's not going to, poison us or not bring enough food on the passage. Everybody, we work in an area where when you go up the rig, you have to trust the person that's down holding the other end of the rope. And so when you work in an environment like that and you're on board the yacht that you work on and someone comes on board and says, this is what you need to do for your future and for your retirement, you trust that they have your best interest in mind. And unfortunately, that's not what's been happening. And if you see any of the comments on the couple posts that I've put up on Palma Yacht Crew, this is not a rare thing. This seems like it's been happening in all the different ports to quite a few people. And those are only a few selection of the people that, this has happened to, because I do think, as Tom said in the previous interview, some people are a bit embarrassed about it. And I don't think they really have a need to be embarrassed because these people are salespeople. That's their job, to convince you that they're your buddy and they're doing something good for you. But I mean, to me, it just seems wrong.
They sound like it sort of reminds me of those used sales car guys back in the 80s, really quite slick and fast talking and able to come in and tell you everything you want to hear and take everything you've got and watch you drive off the lot and end up breaking down within 5 minutes and saying sorry as is. It is, I mean, is there a reason you think that they're targeting yachting? Is it the fact that the yachting industry is notorious for making very good wages? But as well, are they targeting the younger demographic of yachties?
I think they probably would go for basically anybody that they can get. But I think people working in the yachting industry are maybe easy targets because, when you're 21 and you come out and you start earning quite a good salary, depending on what country you're coming from. We're in Spain right now. If you're coming from Spain and all of a sudden you step on a yacht and start earning yacht wages, it's a lot more than what you're earning on land. And you can earn a good amount of money in yachting. And, a lot of us know that. There are also trade-offs for that, that sometimes people forget. You don't get to see your family a lot. You miss a lot of friends' birthdays. You don't necessarily get to be with them when they need you or you need them. And so there's a trade-off. I don't think that in a lot of instances we're overpaid in any, depending, but, I think it's fair for a lot of reasons. But you're on a boat, you don't have any expenses. That's where, you know, the real kind of step ahead comes. And so people do have expendable income, and people are willing to say, okay, yeah, I'll put away 500 euros a month. And these advisors say, okay, well, can you do that for 25 years? And you know, maybe they don't really emphasize the fact that if someone needs to stop, you know, they have to. What the person that I'm familiar with was told, oh, you can put it on hold. You can put the investment on hold. You can pause it. What they weren't told was that when you do that, you're still paying all the fees. So you can get out of your 25-year investment after 4 years, but you're liable for 25 years of fees. So as soon as you sign up and you make those first payments, you're on the hook for 25 years of fees. And then what the advisor comes and says, oh, well, yeah, I know, see, the people's lives change, and then, you know, they can't make the 500 euro a month payments because they want to buy a house, or they have to do that. You know, that's not always the case. I think sometimes people realize they've been scammed and they don't want to keep doing the 500 euro payments, because they realize if they were to take that personal equity and put it somewhere legitimate, they're actually going to reap the benefits of their investment, whether it's real estate, a high interest savings account, bonds, index funds, safe, secure investments, where the person actually realizes the gaining of the investment rather than the company that signed them up. So to go back to your question, is it specific to yachting? I don't think it's specific to yachting. I think there's a lot of different people that could be vulnerable in these sorts of things, but I think it's been hit hard because the industry was probably seen as a bunch of young people that have a good wage and want to plan for their future, want to do the right thing, but don't necessarily know how to do that.
Well, and I guess they also bank on the fact that you're only maybe in the harbor or the marina for 24 hours. And if, you know, if they can sell you in that quick of a time and get you back out on the boat, you're done.
Yeah.
So what would you suggest to those people? I mean, when somebody who is an advisor comes on board, what would you suggest to them? Would you suggest that they take the paperwork and say, I'll get an accountant to look it over? I mean, we live in a digital age. It is very easy to scan those papers and send them off wherever in the world to have somebody take a look at them before making any commitment.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I also think that on the meeting that we're holding on Thursday, Tom's going to be kind of elaborating on certain questions to ask people posing as advisors, to see if they are an advisor or if they're a salesperson. I'm not in finance. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know all the specific questions, but one thing I would encourage everybody to do is to ask for what's the company name that they're representing, or that person's name, and then just turn around and pick up your phone and go Google this company name and complaints, or this person's name and complaints. Palma Yacht Crew is a great resource. I put up this because I'd heard these stories, and people that are close to me of these people getting caught in these sort of schemes. I put up a post. Has anybody invested with these companies? And the amount of negative feedback that you get almost immediately would lead anybody nowadays to steer clear. Now, I think this monster will morph and change into different ways. Hopefully these new laws that Tom will speak more about at the meeting on Thursday will prevent some of these plans from being sold, or prevent those people from selling them. But I'm sure they will find a new way to make their money off us. And so just take your time. The person that I've been speaking of, they were signed up on board their boat. They were leaving to go to a charter show in the next couple weeks. And in this plan that they signed up for, you have a 30-day cooling off period where you can go and cancel and everything's forgiven. You're not liable for anything. They went into an office twice to say, I think I've made a mistake. I don't think this is the right investment for me. And both times, no, it's fine. It's fine. You're okay. No, you've signed now. It's all good. It's all good. This is not the actions of someone who's working for your benefit. This is the actions of, to me, criminal. And that's why I want to try and make a stand against it. To be honest, I can think of a million other things I'd rather be doing right now than talking about banking and finance. I could think of a million other things I want to be doing on Thursday night. But this sort of thing just gets to me because these are very wealthy companies and they're going for people's hard-earned money. And it's just not right.
Well, and that's exactly how they get wealthy, isn't it? By stealing, essentially.
I don't think all wealthy people
No, I mean these companies.
other people.
No.
I think there are some that definitely are self-made, have great ideas and all those sorts of things. But unfortunately, there are some that make a bad name for the others. Yeah, I agree.
So, I mean, it's really smart then to do your due diligence too. I mean, we're so good in today's day and age. We're all over social media. And especially when you're in your 20s, you see it, and late teens, you see these kids, they've got, their handheld devices in their hands constantly. I mean, they can't even walk down the street without having their nose buried in their phone. So if that's the case, then there is really no reason or no excuse for them to be taken advantage of, because if they utilize those tools for something important, as easy as they use those tools for something funny, or just, talking about their latest night out, they might be able to save themselves a lot of headache, a lot of stress, and a lot of long-term pain and suffering.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, it does come down to the person ultimately that signs the piece of paper. They should have read that. The last website that you went on to that had a whole bunch of terms and conditions, did you read it?
Nope, of course not.
No, because you expect that it's going to be okay, right? If you have
Yeah.
someone that comes into your place of employment and is, charismatic and saying that they're doing the right thing and, oh, I'll help you out with this, that's good. Do you have any friends you want me to help out as well? You think, yeah, cool, this guy was nice. Yeah, he's funny. Like, it's a sad time when we have to always distrust everybody that is coming towards us with something. But when it comes to your paycheck, when it comes to your money, it ultimately comes down to the person who signs the form. So please don't sign the form until you are 100% sure, until you've got other people that have helped you out. To the captains, don't let financial advisors on board your vessel
Yeah.
to sign up your crew members unless maybe you have done a bit of research or you have vetted them, or to be honest, as a person that's in that position myself, I would probably say, great, I understand you have an appointment with a financial advisor. I'm not sure who this person is, so there's a cafe over there that you can go do it. I don't think this should happen in your place of employment, because as a captain, you feel like you have a duty of care to the people that are working for you. And, so captains need to become aware. I also think marina managers, shipyard managers, they need to let all sorts of people in running businesses all sorts of times. And there are a lot of legitimate financial advisors that are out there that are licensed, registered, working in the same country for many, many years. So, they know they have to keep their clients' best interest. Otherwise, they're not going to last long, right? Those people should be allowed into the marinas, but it's hard when you let these few slip through the cracks. They need to be aware of it. Not that they need to stop those people from going into the marinas or shipyards, but they need to be aware that there are some that maybe they should do a bit more research on. You know, doing your own research, picking up the phone, that definitely needs to happen. You need to take responsibility for your own money. But in saying that, I don't want to pass the blame solely onto the people that have been duped by this scheme, because that's exactly what it is. Like, you know, they've had someone very convincing do it. They shouldn't feel bad. They should realize, okay, this happens. This happens all the time. And now, why I've put this out there is I thought, like, surely, maybe if there hasn't been a case, there could be a case. And that's why we want to get people together on Thursday so that we can talk about it, brainstorm. And if nothing else comes from it, but then preventing another generation of yachties from losing their money to these immoral investment schemes, then at least we can walk away feeling like, okay, we took the hit, but maybe we've made it better for the people coming after us.
Well, you know, I think it's one thing that I don't understand is how somebody could, after meeting somebody over a short period of time, sign away a good chunk of their paycheck for the next 25 years. Because I guarantee you that if they went to that bar that night and got really drunk and took home a one-night stand, they wouldn't be asking them to marry them and expect to stay together for the next 25 years.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that analogy is
I think so.
100% sound, but I mean, that's okay.
I think it is, though. I mean, at the end of the day, that is your hard-earned money. And that is something that, you know, for 25 years, you're saying to somebody, yeah, I'm going to give you 500 euros every single month for the next 25 years. I mean, that's a lot. And to make that decision in a very short period of time, that's kind of scary. I mean, you know, it's like saying to somebody, I'm going to give you my life for the next 25 years and I've known you for 24 hours. Let's go. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, when I do compare it to that analogy, it doesn't make any sense. Well, for me, it's the same with your money. I would suggest that people definitely do have an accountant. I mean, you know, I think there's yachting groups as well that you can approach, like the PYA or, I mean, but there's different groups you can approach to help you out with these sort of things, aren't there?
I mean, as I said, I'm not in finance or anything, so I'm not aware of those. I think you're right that it does, you know, everybody needs to look after their own money in their own way. It's just these people are very convincing, and so when they come and they've got the business cards and they got the brochures and the pamphlets and they've got an office in town, you think, okay, well, you know, my money gets deposited into a bank once a month. So what's the difference between that and depositing 500 euros into this? Some of these companies, these are global companies. It's not like it is someone that you met at a corner bar. This is global company. So it's a global company that has a product that is not like a good product. It's legitimate, but it's a ripoff. There are investments, and I don't know how they all work, but there are investments that load the fees. Obviously, they're going to charge you something. It's a service. We have to pay for services. There are fees at the beginning, investments, front-loaded, you know, fees, and end-loaded, where you have to pay the fees when you come out. But regardless, as you said, the definition of an investment is your money gets bigger over the time.
Yeah.
If you have a an international company that has a representative that's coming to you and convincing you that this is what you need to do with your money, it's convincing, you know. Unfortunately, these advisors or these salespeople posing as advisors that come, they have not given you all the information.
Yeah.
And if they had, you wouldn't have signed up. So really, the multinational company that is holding the money isn't necessarily who we're trying to target here in as far as a complaint or anything like that, because they just make the product, whether it's a good product or not. You can like Coke, you can not like Coke. It's up to you whether or not you want to buy it, right? I meant Coca-Cola.
Thanks for the clarification.
You know, multinational company, right? But it's these advisors that go, and they're the ones that are selling the product. And if they are not there posing as someone that has your best interest in mind, selling you this product that you don't fully grasp the, you know, the consequences of, they're the ones that have kind of done a disservice to the investor, the everyday person.
So it's almost like misinterpretation. And, you know, I think people shouldn't be afraid to come to this meeting and to talk about it if they have been, you know, put in a situation like this, because there are a lot of people out there that have been. And really, it does come down to the fact that they omit saying things that they should. They misrepresent. They don't necessarily say that you've got to be in for the full 25 years. As you were saying, your friend, they were told they can pause the investment. Well, the investment may be paused, but they still had to put the money in no matter what was going on in their life. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. It sounds like it was happening pretty much straight across the board with a lot of people, not just the beginner yachties, but as well, you know, in their 30s and their 40s, people were sold because they trusted when they shouldn't have.
Exactly. When you have a big multinational company and someone proposing, you know, being a representative of them, you think, okay, well, I put my money in a bank. Why not put it in this? It's an investment plan. This would be good for my future. If they were given all the knowledge, and that's what it comes down to, if they were given all the knowledge, they would have never signed. My friends that was signed up and went in and tried to cancel twice and was not allowed to cancel, essentially, that's just not right, you know?
No.
And so hopefully we get some people out to the meeting on Thursday. We can get some people together. You never know. If there's enough people that have been missold these products and we were all to get together, you know, it could just be the underdog story of the year. You know, it's if you don't go after these people that are taking advantage, you know, they just continue to do so. And so, as I said, there are a lot of things I'd rather be doing, but I want to help my fellow crew members, yachties, captains, people in the industry, so that more people don't get, you know, duped by this scheme, essentially.
Brilliant. Well, and I mean, there's also going to be some people there that are legitimate, as far as you know, investment people that can advise, investment advisors. And how to spot them. There's going to be tips and tricks on how to spot the right ones, how to spot the wrong ones. And it's a place to open up if you have indeed found yourself being led down the garden path, as it were. And maybe you all can come together and do something about that, make some change. Because if we don't speak up and we don't speak out, then change will never be made. So I think that is really, really important about this meeting, is that you don't need to be ashamed. Everybody needs to sort of come together and create a group of you so that you can actually expose the issues that need to be exposed.
Yeah.
Well, Colin, thank you so much. I know you're a busy man, and I will stay in touch with you. I have movement in the background. And we will stay in touch for sure. Let me know how Thursday evening goes and what the results are, because I think I'd be very, very interested in finding that out.
Great. Well, thank you very much for, you know, bringing this into the conversation and on your site. And yeah, nice to meet you. We'll talk to you soon.
Wonderful. You've been listening to another episode of Palma Yacht Crew Vlog right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. Stay tuned for the next episode coming soon.